Welcome to my channel, Ruff's Rocks. It's April 11, 2022. Beautiful weather outside. I'm gonna make this video to whet your appetite for this season. Snow is melting up north. It's melted here. Today I'm gonna do a little video about a little bit of show and tell, a little bit of how to trim and prepare rocks for your display, and where to get some information about where to go, an update on that. I'm gonna switch my screen so you guys can of things that I have on display at home. These are ginormous crystals of hornblende from a location that many of you know, Bear Lake Diggings. Unfortunately, for years that location is closed, but it's very intricate cluster of hornblende, the long pieces, and this one is a subdivision of that mineral. I forgot the name of it. It will come back to me. I probably put it on the screen later. Another piece from that same hole, which my son crawled into, is this nice piece, very nicely shows, all terminated from same hole. I refer to this hole because my son, who was then 15 or 14, had to really crawl flat. This one I call Beauty and the Beast because you can see beautiful apatites sticking out throughout the rock, and this one is really jammy, even apatite. And then of course you have fully terminated crystals of hornblendes. Now there is also everybody knows Titanite Hill. This particular piece from Titanite Hill is a nice form feldspar, and there's titanites in it, very sharp razor titanites. And then there is also attached hornblende formation here. I kept this one because it's really fully finished all over the place, so it presents nice, shows nice. Well, this is I call this one a bomb because it comes from Bear Lake Diggings again. And you can see my hand here, so that's probably like 3 pounds. It's a little cracked here, but we found the piece in the mud. All those big rocks, they fell inside the cave, the vein. They fell on a gentle dirt, and this is why they didn't fall apart. Again, going back to Titanite Hill, it's a little smaller form of hornblends. I really like hornblends. I like how dynamic those crystals are, the way they are connected. And like I said, this is just show and tell. And this is something I'm working on. I'm trying to find very good quality combinations, for example, of hornblende here and a feldspar, and I'm making little miniatures on a little display platform. And you can probably see how nicely this one shows. There is another piece from there, hornblende, that is, hornblende. And then there's a little bit of fluorite from Madoc area. This one is like see-through from, I believe, Roger's mine. Those mines are hard to find and obtain permission to be there. And then there's a little bit of interesting piece here. Many of you recognizes this. A little bit of apatite from Miller property at Eganville area, which is called Smart Mine or Lost Mine. This one displays so nicely because basically mica sheet here creates like a platform on which there is a calcite that embeds the apatite itself. So this is what I consider worthy to be in my house. It works with decor of my wife's living room. The rest of stuff is in the garage, which I'm gonna show you in a second. So here is my literally fitting name for this would be a cave in my garage. This is where I work on my finds. You can see the big cluster, which is just nothing's worthy to really work on, but it just relaxes me. I'm just using a simple Dremel tool. As you can see here, some attachments, mostly a wire brush on a spindle, like this one. Brass wire brush is too soft. Sometimes you actually leave residue of brass on your crystals. This is another example of very nicely formed false bar from Titanite Hill with a nice Titanite. It depends really on a person what really interests you in minerals. For me, it's the form, unusual combinations of crystals. For example, this, I really love that piece. Is a very well developed cubes of fluorite. You can see how pristine is nests in a nice sphalerite, really balls of crystals in a tiny little cave. But that's a fresh break. Obviously that wasn't exposed to any elements. Now then you have molybdenite from Wilberforce. So sometimes people just want a big, let's say, crystal of apatite. To me, that's as nice as it is kind of boring. I like crystals attached to matrix. For example, like this one, it's just broken, obviously, you can see. But what it has in it is the battlefight right behind there. And speaking of that mineral, I have few pieces. I'm just finding out what I have during winter time. It's here. You have to. I sometimes break bigger chunks of rocks, and I work on them in this area over the winter. And of course, closer to spring, we're getting more excited. You can see peristerite from Lake Clear, I believe. There's lots of sodalite there. Sodalite is kind of boring to me. I really enjoy going to Craig Mount and all areas where corundum is. I have lots of chunks of corundum which really don't have much crystal form, but I just like the thrill of finding them. So there's corundum from Logan Cuts, actually, which is part of the Burgess Burgess Mine Ridge area. There's well, this is just some kind of titanite. So anyway, whatever interests you, you can find. This is pretty much a little bit of show what we can find in Bancroft area and Niagara Falls area. And these are rocks here on the ground, on a table that I'm working on, trying to make them prettier and making them more clean. I'm using just simple tools to remove the residue. I sink some stuff in a iron out. Acid I'm very careful with because bleaches and really weakens the structure of many rocks that I worked with. There is quite a few big chunks of fluorite from the famous road cut, which I'm working on. I have few that are really ready to be kind of put on display, like this little twin here. Anyway, I'm showing you all this to, like I said, to whet your appetite for this season. This is another very nice chunk of fluorite from Madoc area. I don't have much success with green one from there, but I will come. I have to find people who will let me in on their property, and I have to find out how to find them. I'm trying to do everything by myself. I don't rely on much on others telling me, and this is kind of part of this is a big point of uh, what is it, corundum. There's molybdenite here, you can see. There's cluster of titanite here, and this is still this shelf is mostly titanite hill, which is feldspars and titanites. And then the way I organize my findings is I use the boxes from strawberries and I mark them. Maybe you can see here Gibson property, and I do 2017. And these rocks I never even know what's there. One day I'm gonna find out. And this is more display here. I like to display what I collected myself. I don't like to buy rocks from others, because like I said, it's nothing wrong with that, but it's what makes you collecting enjoyable. For myself is to finding things and then working on them and finding how pretty they are. Like this is a cluster of garnets from River Valley. Probably everybody knows that. So anyway, enjoy Rockhounding 2022. There is more stuff here. Put in the comments if you have any questions, what is what. Just look at the timer and I will answer in the comments if you have any questions about this. And there's a whole bunch of drawers that I have behind me all over the place that I'll be looking through them when I have time. Oh, and just before I close this one, this is a nice apatite from I have to glue it, but I didn't do a very good job. But I'm looking for the piece that goes this way now, you know, like a V shape with a little bit of purple fluorite on top. This is from Monk Road, close to Wilberforce. So, just want to mention to everybody that lots of locations, unfortunately, are closing throughout my collecting career, which is only 10 years. Unfortunately, was the last one in a Bear Lake diggings. Before they closed, I was the last one before McDonald mine was demolished, which is such a shame, because that mine by itself was a beautiful place to visit. And in fact, last year I was in August at the Grace Lake road cut, and we were basically chased by a very angry guy who claimed to be owner of the property. And I wonder if that collecting is going to be possible, because one thing that I really want to find more of would be that guy right there in the center, which is tremolite. Unfortunately, places are slowly closing down. Many people buying land up north, and due to insurance issues and garbage left behind, unfortunately, many places are closing. So again, this is a little bit of view of, like, this guy, for example, here. I'm gonna be working on him, and I'm gonna make him all nice and clean because he's fully terminated, and we go from there. But that's what makes me interested in, is the form and how dramatic certain combinations are of the combos, how they coexist and how they grow together. That's what interests me very much. Okay, so I hope you enjoyed this portion of this video, and the last one is going to be a little more talking about where you can find directions to places and I will share some of this information in a minute. Yeah, so this is the last portion of my video that I would like to send before May out there. I promise that last portion of this video will be about where to get some information. First of all, you know, in an era of computers, we are talking about internet. MinDOT is the mother of all information when it comes to localities. MinDOT. And you can zoom on Canada, you can zoom on Ontario, your hometown, whatever. You can go by mineral, by color, by whatever interests you, and you find places to go. But if you would go to old-fashioned finding information, what helps me a lot is this book, which is famous Anne Sabina. This book I picked up at one of the mineral shows. Those are very rare to find. Whenever you can buy those books, those are very great. These are maps. They were probably made in 60s or 50s, but you can compare them to GPS. I mean Google Maps, and very often they match perfectly the roads. Of course, many of those lands are developed now, but that book is super helpful to me. But everything started for me, of course, with these. Mick Gordon. That's what started my really researching the places up north. Super good information in here, but he quotes a lot of Anne Sabina, and of course that particular author has a lot more stuff. This is I believe it's about other places up north, very far north. Then what really also is very helpful for me is these books. These books my wife got me for my anniversary a couple of years back from some geologist in Toronto. These come as a reports of the local areas. This one talks about geology of Madoc, for example. I just picked a few from my shelf. This one is Long Lake area. Another lake, whatever that lake is. And they all have beautiful maps on the back of the page. And they superly well done, like almost like military type of maps. Except they geological. This is not a map, but this one is. Geological maps. And this helped me. This is Madoc area, for example. So this has geological formations. This is Lake Moira, for example. Then we have a little bit of area here with granitic outcrops, and you have basically pinpointed mines by these numbers, and they have names here. You can see this is Rogers mine that I found some very nice clear. This area is very hard to get to because land is really owned by so many people there. But that's something that I will research by myself, and I'll find the ways somewhere to find some nice fluorite like other of you guys already found. So that helps a lot. Again, I compare this with Google Maps, and that's fun in itself. Of course, there's another beautiful books from a long time ago. This one is super helpful because this one talks really about each mineral, what cleans it, what destroys it, how to shine it, how to get rid of residues, just chemical component of it. This one is John Sinkankas. Probably many of you know him from research. And another very old, interesting approach to geological exploration or mineralogical exploration of areas. It's like a road trip, bank road trip number 3, for example. It goes you by mile, what you find on each road cut, points of interest, old mines, outcrops. If you stick to this explanation, you may find stuff that they already are forgotten by rockhounds these days. So that book is also very interesting to me. So that's it. Information is a key. Preparation is a key. When you go and prepare everything at home, then you don't spend too much time when you're in the field. And one more thing I forgot to show you when I was showing you my specimens. This one is actually, I forgot about it. This one I found in a box of things that I collected a few years back this year. And like I said, I put everything in the same box. I used like a flats from strawberries or beer. And this one in the box was this apatite. And I noticed that this feldspar had perfect channel where those apatites were growing. And I matched it, and matches perfectly. I just glue it back to its original. And I have more of those feldspars. This one has beautiful sharp titanites, you can see here, growing into the crack, from the crack of feldspar. And overall it's a beautiful specimen of 3 minerals that are available at Titanite Hill in a certain trenches. So again, this is just to whet your appetite. Probably are running, some of you, in the summer, or pretty much in a few weeks, in one of those localities. Please like and subscribe if you're interested in more of videos of this kind from me. And see you rockhounding in a forest in a few weeks. Bye.